Hi friends, today's video is brought to you by spite. Yes, you heard me, by my own spite for not being able to see Lisa Frankenstein. It's not coming out in my country and I was really looking forward to finally checking it out. No updates on when that's coming to Australia, so I thought I would channel my energy into something positive, making a top 10 list for you for a certain platform, and that platform today happens to be Shudder. This is not sponsored, but I thought it was time to make a list of my top 10, my personal top 10 favorite Shudder films, exclusives and originals, and I've listed the definitions of what that means down below. Some of these are only available in some countries on Shudder, but I've left a lot of information down below. I've done the research for you, so you should be able to find them somewhere streaming near you. These are going to be ranked from 10 to 1. Let's get into it. I am forever a Prevenge lover. This indie horror comedy has such a raw and vulnerable message, and Alice Lowe, well, she deserves so much praise for this horror about pregnancy. Not only did she write, direct, and star in the film, she did so while being 8 months pregnant. With the tagline, "Killing for Two," this British horror is the story of Ruth, a widow who is 7 months pregnant when she begins to hear voices within, those of her unborn baby, convincing her to commit murder. The film has it all. It's funny, dark, and emotional, and if you're interested in pregnancy horror, this Shudder exclusive is well worth a watch. Host is the definition of the right place and the right time. The found footage put Rob Savage on the map and was a source of strange comfort during a time when we're all stuck inside within our home's walls. The movie is about 6 friends who connect during the lockdowns on Zoom, and for something fun to do, they decide to hire a medium to conduct a seance. What could go wrong? The movie was filmed entirely during the lockdowns and as well on Zoom, creating a movie magic, immersive, and authentic experience. And the film was inspired by the director's own call faking an attack on Zoom to his friends, where he recorded their reactions in real time. He then used this to pitch the full-length film of a similar tone. The film works on multiple levels. Its simplicity creates a chilling tone, and its atmosphere is extremely accurate, recounting how people felt during the lockdown. Without this film wouldn't have worked anywhere near as well, but it became a real favorite during the time. Another found footage for you, call me crazy, but I love some meta horror. And this film, starring Joseph Winter, as well as being co-written and co-directed by him and Vanessa Winter, is a fun original for the platform. The movie follows live stream style a disgraced internet personality who streams from a haunted house, but accidentally pisses off the real home's residents, those being the spirits beyond the grave. The film is full of silly, fun practical effects, but most of all, it's a fast-paced, action-packed comedy horror. At times, it's overstimulating, but it's always interesting. It's a fun display of creativity within the genre we all love. There's been a lot of buzz about Speak No Evil since it was released. The film is about a Danish family that visits a Dutch family for a holiday, but their time together doesn't go as expected, although the Danes persevere in an attempt to ease the other family's hostile nature. The film got a lot of people talking. It leans into the cultural expectations of each country, playing up their stereotypes. And it's a brutal horror full of shocking and frustrating moments as we watch a family squirm in a dangerous situation. I found it to be extremely effective. The film, on the most part, was well received, even though many voiced their frustrations in watching such a terrifying situation unravel, which is kind of the point. Either way, the commotion was enough to warrant an American remake, which is in the works and should be released this year. It stars James McAvoy and Mackenzie Davis, and I wonder if this will be a play on American versus Canadian pleasantries. Shudder acquires some amazing splatter films. In fact, sometimes it feels like they are the ones to bring them to the surface when other distributors won't, and sometimes it pays off big time. Taiwanese film The Sadness was labeled one of the goriest films of all time quickly after its release, and for good reason, because it's absolutely deranged. The movie was part inspired by the Cross comic book series, and in this film we follow a young couple who try to reunite when all hell breaks loose in their city, and it's overtaken by infected humans who have morphed into blood bloodthirsty sadists. The story is very simple in its delivery, but the action is what will stick with you. The film has so many quote that scenes that it's an overwhelming visual purgatory for the viewer, and for that I regard it to be one of the best films linked to Shudder. It was very effective. But I'm warning you, this is not for the sensitive. And speaking of, this is the subgenre we all feel a particular way about, the dreaded assault revenge film, and this one coming right out and using it for its title, Revenge. The film had audiences split because of its over-the-top gore and seemingly pain threshold plot holes, but it's effective and strong in its messaging. The French film, believe it or not, is shot in Morocco, and it's an action-packed horror that acts like a non-stop thrill ride with a very dramatic, bloody conclusion. The film follows a woman on a getaway with a group of wealthy men in an isolated location, and a violent incident which turns her life upside down, driving her to attempt revenge served warm. It's her or them. I remember when this was released, it caused a huge stir. Its focus was undeniable and for some even cathartic. If you're looking for a non-stop heart-pounding journey with minimal dialogue and some unbelievable gore, Revenge gives it all to you. Straight up with no chaser, and that is something I deeply respect. Mad God really is for a particular type of horror fan. It's a bizarro, surrealist, stop-motion horror that took over 30 years to complete. We follow a mysterious assassin who is on a chilling journey through a nightmarish world, encountering tortured souls, ruined cities, and eerie monstrosities, all sprawled from the vivid imagination of Phil Tippett, a renowned stop-motion animator. In this cinematic adventure, we delve into a dark and suspenseful tale where reality blurs into the haunted visions of Tippett's mind. At times, it's overwhelming and it's always deranged. I honestly didn't expect to love this as much as I did, or even really like it, but I found it refreshing. And paired with its sound design, it really felt immersive, and for its entire runtime, I was transported to another world. By the end, I found myself wanting more. Keep in mind, this one is surrealist, so there's no strong storyline. It's more about the imagery and atmosphere. One Cut of the Dead is a Shudder exclusive like none other, and if you've been putting this one off because you don't think you'll like it because you're not a fan of zombie comedy horrors or found footage, you're making a huge mistake. This film is anything but average. The Japanese film, which the Japanese title is actually Don't Stop the Camera, is a true indie masterpiece. It follows a director and his film crew shooting a low-budget zombie splatter movie in an abandoned World War II facility. But not everything goes to plan, and you're gonna have to check it out for yourself to reveal the true magic, because I'm not about to spoil it here. But there was a reason that this film won over 27 awards. Add it to your watch list ASAP and thank me later. When Evil Lurks appeared in countless top 10 lists last year, and for good reason. The Argentinian nightmare put a spin on possession, presenting a new structure to the tired theme. The movie takes place in a remote village where two brothers find a demon-infected man. Now what they do with him will change their lives forever. The film has so many wild twists with no lead up, leaving the audience caught off guard, which is something that a lot of us have been chasing for years. And the director, Damien Rungler, is someone we have to keep an eye out for, because his unique spin on horror and ability to refresh nightmare fuel is chilling and epic. Okay, before we get to number one, I do want to give honorable mentions to Impetigore, Teddy, and Terrified, all amazing horror movies that you can find on Shudder in some countries. Okay, well, these are my personal picks, and this next film, in my opinion, is severely underrated. It's an intense, dark watch that is not for everyone. But with so many horror films recently discussing grief, PERTH Rebirth flips the topic on its head and goes straight for the jugular. This film follows an unemotional morgue technician whose dangerous experiments with the dead lead her and an unexpected mother down a dangerous path of no return. It's a gritty ride that crosses so many lines that horror movies, or really any movie, is scared to touch. The performances are harrowing yet understated, and with this taboo storyline, this film exceeded my expectations. friends. And if you're up for the challenge, I really recommend this one. Again, for disturbing horror movie lovers only. Let me know your favorite movies that are streaming on Shudder currently, exclusives, originals. I want to know them all. Which films would you put in your top 10? Leave it listed. But if you're looking for a step back in time to watch some original, unique films that were not really appreciated, I've just done this video, which is 5 underrated films from the 2000s, and I think you would love it. Check it out. Stay safe and stay spooky. Bye, friends.